NFL on EA Sports, and we'll get to see a battle for conference superiority. It's the Miami Dolphins and the Detroit Lions, and it's coming up next.
Coming to you from the venue that hosted the Super Bowl back in February of '06. Welcome to Ford Field in downtown Detroit. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Miami Dolphins and the Detroit Lions. And hi again, everybody. Alongside my partner, Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And Charles, when you and I were going through our final run-throughs at breakfast, we kept thinking tonight we're going to get to see a couple of very good passing offenses.
And we're talking about both sides having multiple receivers that can have an impact on this game. It's not just one guy that's going to make all the plays. If you take him away, maybe number 2, number 3, they make the big plays that impact who wins the game.
Sanders now to get this one started, and we are underway from Ford Field. And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. Oh, good return up past the 30. Still going. But he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions.
That was a special return, and it happened because he's a special returner. He has to have that approval from his special teams coach's head coach to bring it out of the end zone.
But let's be honest, a lot of times when they bring it out of the end zone like he did there, they don't have approval. I mean, I think a lot of times they do, but correct me if I'm wrong. Sometimes it's just a guy getting a feel, right?
You're exactly right. What's the old adage? Sometimes you just have to know when to break the rules. And if you do, you're taking on some responsibility. But he was happy to do so there.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And it's now a 7-0 game. So how about that for an intriguing start? The opening kickoff of the ball game, return for a touchdown. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. The Dolphins take the field with Tua Tagovailoa, their quarterback from Alabama, at the helm.
Every quarterback in the NFL has a little bit of his own signature style out there, but for this guy, he really plays the game in a different way. It's led to a couple double takes from us up here as we see him as something truly unique. It's not that he's just the strongest passer or the best athlete to ever play the position. He just has a certain way of seeing the action, and it allows him to make some special plays out there.
On play action, here's Tua. Being chased out left. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down.
Holding, offense.
So they will take the sack instead of the penalty.
And it takes another down off the series. But the biggest one of all, do you want to tell the guy who just got the sack that it no longer counts?
No.
No, not at all.
Ready, ready.
They'll run right side with Mostert. And just not a ton of room to work with. He'll get it to the 15 for a gain of 2. We talk about defenders, specifically linebackers, keeping their eyes in the right spot. He had that eye down the entire time.
And you know that's not easily done because they throw a lot of misdirection at you. They try and fool you.
And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. Loss of 10 as multiple defenders get to it. What a great job getting pressure here on the first drive. 3 plays and already 2 sacks.
And that pressure has been intense right from the beginning. And I'm telling you, if they don't make an adjustment in play calling and protection, it'll go from intense to relentless.
Here's Thomas Morstead now. And no room for error here as his first punt comes from deep in his own end zone. And he's able to get it out of there. And taken at the 46. Ooh, the juke. And that'll be a return of 12 following a very nice punt. And the Lions will have excellent field position here as they take over 1st and 10. So now you've got their offense coming out for the first time with great initial field position. They'll be led out by the 7th-year man out of Cal, the top pick back in 2016, Jared Goff.
And at one point, the ascension of Jared Goff was really, really strong. Back-to-back Pro Bowls, took his team to the Super Bowl, and came really within 1 quarter of winning it. But since that time, he's had bouts of inconsistency, and that's been the struggle for him as he tries to get back to the form he showed earlier in his career.
Now a first down throw, Goff. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
And another thing that makes a comeback route really effective is that oftentimes after you've made the initial move, receivers breaking away from the defensive back, and that makes it a really tough play to defend. A nice chunk of yardage picked up there.
Goff on first down. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
So many times when we talk about coverage, we're just about a defender running with a receiver, but a big part of it is understanding where the football is, finding it. In this case, when it arrived, it wasn't a surprise, and he was able to bat it away.
And he's going to be marked down just outside the 10. They'll fake the handoff. Now Goff. To the end zone, but knocked away and incomplete.
Well, he's smart enough to avoid the taunting rule, but I'm guaranteeing he quietly has told them, you might want to stop coming after me downfield because I just broke up another pass and took away a big shot.
And in for the Lions touchdown. Jared Goff to Amon-Ra St. Brown. And the Lions' decision to go for it pays off with 6 points. Both sides of the football in sync early. You force the 3 and out, and then you take it down and score points.
You know what that tells me? They sold their game plan really well. Head coach said, listen, we're just going to stop them on 3 and out. We're going to take the ball downfield and score. But he also told them how it was going to happen. They're going to run this. We're going to stop it. Then we're going to take the ball. They won't be able to keep up with us. And they got it done.
Extra point by Badgley, up and good. And that'll make the score 14-0. The drive summary that time, 5 plays. And the end result, a Detroit touchdown. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And he had no room to run as he's tackled down inside the 20. So Miami coming out for their second drive. They find themselves in a good-sized hole here, and a good-sized hole early on in this game as they come up on first down. Now Tua. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down. Buried by multiple defenders on the drive's first play. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Man, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Tua. And that is going to be incomplete as he led him a bit too much.
And this drive was almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sacked on first down, followed by an incompletion, going to a good rep, and they get off the field.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on third down. Here's Tua. And this turns into disaster. He's not going to get forward progress. That'll be a safety.
I'm not sure they mentioned it as a goal during the week or even talked about it in pregame, but the way they're playing right now, they want this game out of reach by halftime. Not only does the safety just demoralize the opposing offense, now your guys can run out there and try to add another 6 to their lead.
After the safety, remember, they also need to give up the football, and here's the free kick. Here's Jackson. And nothing but green grass here, middle of the field. Touchdown, Detroit. Justin Jackson with his second touchdown in this opening quarter, as his guys have opened up a very comfortable lead.
Again, Elbow brought up. Yeah, I get fired up. 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns in the same game. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, we call a lot of games in a lot of different places. Sometimes it seems like we do it simultaneously, but we rarely get to see this. Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And that PAT pushes the lead up to 23 now. We talk a lot about explosive plays on offense. How about an explosive play on special teams? Certainly one there on the kick return for a touchdown. So now the other return teams out there as they'll try to duplicate what they just saw. And we will not see an attempt to match that return touchdown, as this will be a touchback and bring it out to the 25. Miami's offense set and ready to go. Well, CD, you kind of feel like they're in a bit of a danger zone right here, because now you're down 3 scores, and I know we're in the first half, but the way this offense hasn't been able to generate anything, you feel like they probably need to get something going on this drive, right?
Yeah, and sometimes I overuse if this is an important possession, but I think this has to be the possession where they come up with an answer, because only a few teams in league history have ever come back from a 4-score deficit. And if they don't score here, that's what they could be facing the next time they get the ball.
An entertaining start to this one. More to come on EA Sports. It's Dolphins football here as we begin the second quarter, as they've got it facing a 2nd and long situation. Here's Tagovailoa to throw. Steps away to his left. And a flag comes in as that one falls incomplete. Well, let's see who this is on. Liam Eichenberg, 2nd-round pick in 2021 from Notre Dame, the guilty party.
Still 2nd down. Here we go, set.
Throwing now is Tagovailoa. That's complete to Mostert out of the backfield. And he'll be hit and dropped for a loss at the 5-yard line. Just a 1-yard loss that time, but that's not what they needed. Now they're dealing with a 3rd and long.
Well, Brandon, we could see that play developing, and they were hoping that he was going to be able to put a move on the first guy and turn it into a big play. But no such luck. The speed on defense continues to get better and better in the NFL. Pretty nice example there. Those guys being able to run from their assignments and finish off that play.
Down.
Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on third down. Going to the air, Tagovailoa. Open net is Waddle, complete. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And that'll bring up fourth down.
I think that call was made not so much to try and get the first down, although they would have taken it if they could have gotten it, but to give their punter a little bit of space and try and help out their defense.
Yeah, got the safe completion on third. Here's Thomas Morstead now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's taken on his own 46. Oh, what a move. A pretty good punt, but a nice 13-yard return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. On 1st and 10, Goff. That one complete. He finds Sharp. And he's going to be taken down at the 28-yard line.
Let's just call it what it is. This has been a flat-out struggle for this defense all game long. They've really had a hard time slowing them down. And while I'm not big on speeches and guys jumping up and down, they might need their team leader on defense to get in their face right now and light a fire under these guys. They've got to start playing better assignment football and start getting guys on the ground.
Now Goff on 1st down. Got St. Brown running the quick slant here. And he's going to be brought down at about the 16. Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Now Goff. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
As a defensive back, you have some weapons at your disposal that we don't often talk about. And you can read the receiver's eyes, you can read his hands, and you know that the arrival of the ball is imminent. And that allows you to make a play on it and oftentimes knock it away.
Now a 2nd down throw for the end zone, but it's incomplete. So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. To the air again. Goff. He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Jared Goff connecting with DJ Chark. And the Lions continue to pull away here in this 1st half. And he just did get those feet in there on the side of the end zone. Well done.
Probably the exact size foot necessary, because I think if he had another half size, that catch doesn't count. And he's able to get it in, and it counts for a touchdown.
Badgley on for the extra point. And the lead is now an even 30. 5 plays there on that drive. And it's DJ Chark who finishes it off with a touchdown reception. Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And ultimately, he stopped right where he would have been if he had simply gone down to a knee at the 25. And now this offense comes back out onto the field. They're still in search of an initial 1st down as they come up here 1st and 10.
Ready.
Tua going to throw. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes. Multiple defenders get to him there, and that is the 6th time he's been sacked in this ballgame. I don't know what else can be said about this pass rush. They have been sensational. CD, that is now 6 sacks for them.
And how many times do we talk to offensive coordinators and they say a sack is a result of everyone on offense not doing their job? But let's be honest about this one. This is the offensive line unable to counter the pass rush. They've been teeing off all game long.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete.
Well, as we get ready for third down, let's go back and recap here. The sack on the first play of this drive, that threw a wrench in what they were trying to accomplish because they were compelled to throw the ball on second down. A running play was not in the works. And that incompletion set up another passing down here on third and long.
And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. Now the Dolphins going to burn the first of their timeouts, as the stoppage will come with a little under a minute to go in this first half. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. Looking to pass. Tua hit, and the ball is out. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line.
That feels like an accumulation of the pressure we've seen all game. I mean, he's been on the turf a whole lot because of sacks. Eventually, something else happens as well, and this time it was a turnover.
Yeah, caught up to him. The Lions now taking over late in this first half. And now following that turnover, they've got an opportunity here to try to cash in with good field position before intermission. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. Following the fumble recovery, Goff. And the timing a bit off that time as that one falls to the ground.
These are the situations that really test the defense, those sudden changes. They're already inside field goal range to start the possession. Their goal now, keep it to a long kick, if indeed they end up trying one.
And that'll be caught. It's St. Brown. And he gets it all the way down inside the 10 and mark him at the 5. 25 yards that time.
Remember, this drive started off following the turnover, and they've taken no time working their way down the short field. A nice connection there, and now they're looking at a 1st and goal.
A chance to really cap off a big first half here as they come up on 1st and goal. Open man, and he's got Williams. Touchdown, Lions. A great play there as the first half is winding down. And the Lions would extend their lead here just before halftime.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there. Unable to do so, that makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So they only needed 3 plays on that drive. And it was Jamison Williams wrapping things up with a touchdown. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And a nice job there on special teams to limit him to inside the 15 as he's dropped at the 14. The Dolphins at the line ready for their next drive. And with 10 seconds left, not really enough time to put something together. And they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Give him a couple on the carry there, 2nd and 8. So we've reached halftime here in what is quickly turning into quite a rout. As we'll send you down to Orlando and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, BG, thanks very much. And welcome one and all to our beautiful new downtown Orlando studios for this EA Sports Halftime Report. First, though, time for a check of the next-gen stats from that first half for Miami. And not much went right in those first 2 quarters. You can see the numbers on the ground there. Not a whole lot to write home about so far. Meanwhile, for the Lions, you get a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And whatever they've done, it's worked, as they have the lead through 2 quarters of play. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. Out comes the Dolphins now. They'll go on offense first here in this third quarter. And they have a mountainous deficit looming in front of them. It was really, Charles, a disaster of a first half. So where do they go from here?
Well, first thing they have to remember is that what's done is done, and there's no going back. And now you have to play this drive by drive. Obviously, come back in this spot, pretty unlikely. But you still have to go out, take pride in your work, and try and put something together here in the second half.
And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27.
And a lot of times, these plays, they either go for nothing or they go for big yardage. And here, they got to the outside, turned it upfield, and ended up getting a nice little gain out of it.
And this won't be enough to pick up the first. A gain of 2, 3rd and 1. Well done to sniff that out defensively. He had it diagnosed pretty quickly.
I love that description because diagnosed is perfect on that one. Read his keys, made the play, and he couldn't even get going moving the football.
And now Mostert is going to be stopped up short. He did not get there. This defense not budging. Back-to-back carries of just 2 yards.
We think, Brandon, I like the intensity this defense is showing right here in these first few drives. They're not just holding the line because they're doing their job, but they're doing more than that, aren't they? They're getting a nice push into the offensive backfield.
And a great example right there for the loss on the tackle. Here's Thomas Morstead now as he's on to punt for Miami. Fielded just inside the 30. Call that a punt of 38 yards officially, and the Lions will take over. Now we take a glance at the offense as they work their way back out for their first possession of the second half. Right now, everything they touch turns to gold. This is their 4th possession. Touchdowns on their first 3 possessions. I mean, this defense, they can't seem to stop them. It's like they're on skates.
Great analogy, Brandon, because they are pushing them back and winning everything at the line of scrimmage. They've just been laying down tracks towards the opposite end zone. So, to themselves, all they're saying is, if we don't make a mistake, there's no way they can stop us. I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them. And these guys have been taking advantage so far.
On first down, it's gone. And this one into the hands of DJ Shark. And they're going to work this down to about the 32-yard line. The partner still in the third quarter, but they've got this one well in hand and still airing it out with gusto and picking up some nice gains.
And even in lopsided games like this, you don't really see starters get lifted or the foot come off the gas before the 4th quarter. No one wants to leave any doubt when they're playing well. They just want to continue the process.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. They'll fake the give. Now gone. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
And not a common sight, at least on this drive. A momentary setback, though, for this passing game that has been moving well this series. Good thing for them, though. Still 2 more downs to connect and try to pick up another first down.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Detroit. DJ Chark with his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Lions are pouring it on. The partner, he has carried them in this ballgame throwing the football. All 4 touchdowns through the air, and that's really helped them get this nice lead.
And I know it's a team game, but right now, he is truly the focal point. Every touchdown his team has so far has been the result of his arm. How about him throwing it downfield, creating big plays? I don't know how you slow him down unless you can make him uncomfortable in the pocket.
Badgley on for the extra point. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So that drive, 4 plays.
And it's DJ Chark who finishes it off with a touchdown reception.
Here are the Lions now as they line up and kick this one away.
And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And no chance to get away as they'll get him down at about the 17-yard line.
The Dolphins offense now heads back on the field.
Well, we're still in the third quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably gone out the window, Charles. But I don't know. Do you look at this as a time to just improve and maybe start to look towards the future?
I think you have to find something to play for, something to grasp onto until the clock runs out. But, Brandon, we've been around this game a long time. This is an outlier. You don't get many blowouts like this no matter how the game looks on paper going in. This one has turned out to be everyone's worst nightmare realized.
From the 25 on second down. Tua. Now this is intercepted, intended for Hill. Picked by Tracy Walker. And he will bring it back. An interception return for a Lions touchdown.
Well, I mean, you get it. They're trying to make something happen here in this third quarter, CD, but I don't think a pick six is exactly what they had in mind.
No, not at all, because this offense, they've been stuck all game long. Haven't dented the scoreboard yet, and they're kind of forced to take a few chances here. And that one, it backfired in a big way.
Here's Badgley now to try to add the PAT. And the lead grows even larger here in the third quarter. So the defense creating some points, not only getting the interception, but then returning it to the end zone for the pick six. So they'll get another shot on offense following that pick six. And now the kick is away.
Taken at the goal line. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17.
And the Dolphins getting set to go here.
It's a game that they would rather probably forget about, at least to this point, Charles. And one reason is turnovers. The turnover on the last drive, they had the issue in the first half as well. And that's really, unfortunately for them, helped to put this game out of reach.
And you know they won't admit it to themselves, but we know that winning the game is pretty much out of the picture now. So their bottom line is, how do they play a clean game the rest of this one, right? Take care of the football, no more turnovers, and see how that works.
So 2nd and 10 now here in the third quarter from Detroit. A run with Mostert up the middle.
And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. Give him 15 yards on that one, and the Dolphins have a first down. And they're not going to get to the line to run another play. So we will switch ends as the third quarter has come to a close. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Tua sets up to pass it. He'll get this to his tight end, Gesicki. And he's corralled at the 40, but not before picking up 8.
Holding offense.
So we race the flag. They decline it.
And did they use the big eraser, or was that the one at the end of the number 2 pencil?
Well, I was thinking the 2x2-inch ones that you can buy and use in addition to the pencil.
And those last forever.
A long time.
No doubt.
From the gun, it's Tua.
On the throw, let him too much that time. It's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Tua looking to throw on 3rd and 2.
And they'll get this on the screen to Mostert.
Yeah, he appears to be about 2 feet short on 3rd and 3. Leaves leaves them with a 4th and 1.
Good reactions there defensively. That screen was a little slow in developing, and they shut that one down with little gain.
Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he's on to punt for the 4th time tonight. This is taken at the 18. It'll be 37 yards there on the punt.
And it will be 1st and 10 as they take over. Ball back to the Detroit offense and DJ Chark.
Let's see here, Charles. 6 catches, over 100 yards. Call that a pretty good day at the office.
And I love the accumulation. The catches, the yardage. That means he's having a pretty good impact on this ball game and really helping his team out in a big way.
Means he wants the football again, right?
And it's funny because some of these receivers are very vocal about how much they're getting it. Others are quieter, but they still let you know, give me the ball, I'm going to make a play.
Right back to Swift again on 2nd down.
And some room to maneuver. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That good for 22 and a 1st down. Defense really kept him in check running the football in the 1st half. Maybe that'll be a spark for him here in half 2.
So 2 words come to mind for me. Resilient, because he has to keep bouncing back after some limiting runs. And how about relentless? Keep going, knowing that you may pop one, as he just did there.
So now 1st and 10 as they've crossed into Miami territory at the 46.
They'll stay on the ground with Swift.
Tackle made there by Eric Rowe. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So the Lions in possession of the football as we welcome you back. They've got a 2nd down now as they look to salt this one away.
On 2nd down, Swift.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. They wind up losing a couple there, so they go behind the original line of scrimmage, and now 3rd and 11 coming up.
Backed up here, tough spot, needing 11 yards to pick up the 1st. On 3rd down, here comes Swift. And a strong run there as he'll take this all the way down to the 35.
He'll get a dozen there, and the Lions have a 1st down. Another example of this offense really having their way, Charles, and another big chunk play there on the ground.
And when you look at the defense, they've got to do a much better job of wrapping up when they tackle. A lot of great opportunities continue to slip through their fingers, as do the runners.
On this drive so far. It's 1st and 10.
Goff a handoff here to Swift.
And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on 3rd down?
Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
And he won't be close to a 1st down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain there, and it leads to a 4th down. Well, they could just run this clock out, but here is the field goal unit on 4th down. And this will be a 45-yard attempt.
For the winning team here, Charles, that's about as big and clean of a win as you could hope for in the National Football League. No turnovers. Meanwhile, you forced turnovers. You didn't allow any points, and you put up a bunch of points. What an effort.
And, Brandon, I just have to ask you, that's all the stuff that we saw happen today. Those are statistics, numbers, the whole deal. But my question is, how does one team come ready to play and the other one, obviously, not ready at all?
Well, I mean, I obviously don't have an answer to that, but that was the story from the get-go. One side was awake and ready, and the other just seemed to sleep.